After Lyft's IPO, all eyes are now on Uber, which has seen much attention in recent years after excellent growth. The only issue was that investors found out exactly what they feared. Uber loses a lot of money. They burn through it. Just like the countless unicorn companies, Uber has not been profitable as they would have hoped, despite bringing in a growing amount of money every year. Is this another pump and dump? You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. I did a video recently about Lyft and their IPO. Today we're going to talk about Uber. I'm going to show you exactly what's going on before the IPO process. I want to get into some details today, so let's begin by taking a look at this. Uber releases its long-awaited IPO filing. This information came out and it was exactly what investors feared. Number one, Uber reported 2018 revenue of $11 billion. The company posted a net income of nearly $1 billion in 2018, but an adjusted earnings loss of $1.85 billion. This is just like many of these other companies out there who are growing rapidly, but they're doing so at the expense of all of their earnings. They don't make any money, they burn through it. Look at what happened with Lyft and their IPO. We can see here specifically that the peak, I believe, according to this, was 88.60, somewhere around there. And ever since, it has been declining. The stock came on the market. Everybody was so excited for it, but it fell off a cliff basically immediately. And while there has been some up and downs along the way, overall, the stock is down considerably. It's in a bear market here. This could turn around. There's no doubt about that. I'm not denying this information. However, look at what has happened. So much hype going towards it. And now the market is going to try and value this company that is burning through money. And so the same thing could happen with Uber. So it's very difficult to figure out what they want to price it at, how many shares they want to give out, and so on. There's a lot of detail here that still needs to be found out, but ultimately, until it goes live, nobody really knows what's going to happen. This is actually from the document itself, and they're quoting from the Atlantic here. We have incurred significant losses since inception, including in the United States and other major markets, Uber wrote in its filing. We expect our operating expenses to increase significantly in the foreseeable future, and we may not achieve profitability. They are saying that from the get-go. So if people are then surprised later down the road in 10 years when this company is still not making any money, it's all on them. They are actually being honest about that up front, and I think that's great. But it's not good as an investor if you have to wait such a long period of time in order to start seeing it becoming profitable. Essentially, they're just trying to go ahead and discuss what happened with Lyft, the fact that they're a much smaller competitor, Uber is much bigger, they're going to be able to raise the amount of money that they want, and eventually they could become profitable and so on. But all of this is very uncertain. So people put their money in, they're hoping, they're praying, but really it's very difficult to determine which companies will be successful on such a long-term scale. It's not as if this company is going to come online and within 2, 3, 5 years you can start to see that picture forming. It might be very long. Who knows what's going to happen in this industry in such a long period of time? We really don't know what's happening with transportation. There are a lot of changes today with autonomous driving and so on that could completely disrupt this if they're not on top of it. We don't know what competitors are coming up and so on. So I just wanted to make note of that. This is an article out of the Financial Times. There's a lot of detail in here, but I just wanted to note the fact that the CEO is going to stand in and be able to get $380 million worth of stock options, and that is a big deal right there. So that's one individual who's seriously going to be winning as a result of this. Now, what they're worth at the time, I'm not sure, but this is what they're looking at. I just wanted to give you some of that, give you the breakdown. because this is before it goes live. I'm interested to see what happens afterward. This is an article out of Business Insider that just shows you, if you look at this, all the different people who stand to gain as a result of Uber, everything from Saudi and all these different investors, including the original founder, who, by the way, is going to make billions off of this. Uber is gearing up for one of the biggest tech initial public offerings of all time. Its paperwork has filed with the SEC, giving a glimpse of the biggest shareholders within this company. These are the people that stand to gain the most if Uber's entrance as a public company is well received by investors. That is still yet to be decided, but essentially they get into it. If you're interested, you can definitely check out this article out of Business Insider to break it down. It's the usual suspects in here. If you want to take a look, I think I'll make you fall asleep if I were to read through all of these. But if you're interested, if you're looking at Uber as a potential investment or something, then you definitely want to know this. You want to know all the details. You want to read the initial public offering. That filing would be very crucial to fully get into, not just simply take some articles and see what analysts predict the stock is going to do and so on. I want to ask you the question: is this a pump and dump? I'm going to leave that with you. If you found the video informative, please give me a thumbs up. When you give me a thumbs up, you're supporting this channel, so I do appreciate that very much. If you want the financial education you weren't taught in school, these two books have everything that you need. All the details are located in the link below. You got the foundation history, the asset classes, everything from A to Z. If you want the audiobook, that's available at themoneygps.com. If you want to find out what happened with Lyft and their IPO, click on this video and I will see you there.